All I've seen this past month is memes and rants and jokes about how annoying Christmas is.
You leave Christmas alone. Stop it!
Christmas music is great. The only reason why people hate it, in my opinion, is because they associate it with this. And this. And this. So now that it's too late to be useful, here's my playlist of actually not terrible Christmas music. 1934, Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Harry Rezer? Music by Fred Coots and lyrics by Haven Gillespie. Is that a woman? That's pretty ahead of the time. Oh. Anyway, everybody knows this song, but did you know it can actually be good? The first recording of the song has these adorable little bouncy horn parts that give you a feeling of what Christmas was like 100 years ago. Tom Stax as a singer is sloppy by today's standards, but I would rather hear this on loop than listening to, you know.
Last Christmas, we stayed in the house. We covered our nose and covered our mouth. But it's Christmas time. We'll be in line for a booster.
Jimmy Fallon is apologizing to his staff tonight after accusations by...
If you want to hear the vocals done better, you can listen to the version by Sinatra or the Andrews Sisters. But I enjoyed this one for Harry's absolutely ripping banjo solo. Why is there not more banjo in music?
1934 again. Richard Himber and Orchestra's Winter Wonderland with Joey Nash on vocal, music by Felix Bernard, lyrics by Richard Bernard Smith.
Beautiful muted trumpet intro on this one. Classic crooner style of traditional pop. I find this formal delivery of vocals so much classier and fitting than a modern approach where they ruin it with like constant fills and runs and slip around the notes of the melody to make you think they're clever. It's like, oh, I'm really on my toes. He made that note slightly later than it was.
Santa Claus is coming to the town. Hey, ho, ho.
Stop it!
1935, Bing Crosby's Silent Night. Music by the villain of Die Hard, lyrics by Joseph Moore.
The man has a velvety voice, and the wistful backup singers, it tickles a nostalgia in me for a time that I never lived.
Sleep in heavenly peace.
1936, Louis Prima and his New Orleans gang. What will Santa say when he finds everybody swinging? Y'all like Jungle Book type jazz? This is a Christmas version of that. Remember the Jungle Book? That's the guy. He's the guy. 1937, Vera Lynn's The Little Boy That Santa Forgot. Music by Michael Carr, lyrics by Tommy Connor and Jimmy Leach. This is almost an anti-Christmas song, and it might be my favorite on the entire list. We're peaking early. We're peak. Do not add this to the family dinner playlist. It is the saddest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Obviously, it's about orphans and or poverty around the season, but the tragedy of it comes from underscoring the cruelty that's kind of built into the Santa Claus myth. When you know your parents are poor, you don't expect anything. But when the gifts are coming from a magical man through the chimney, being the only kid that didn't get one makes you think it was your fault, like you were bad or something. This little fella's Christmas is just another day. And I won't ruin it by explaining more, but I love it. It's perfect. It makes me cry. Best Christmas song. 1938, Eddie Dutchin and Orchestra, Don't Wait Till the Night Before Christmas, written by Abel Bayer and Sam M. Lewis. It is a jaunty little tune with lots of cute horn parts and lovely three-part harmonies from the Three Barons. The interplay between that and the lullaby piano is really unique and nice, and it doesn't quite make sense, and then it all kind of collides together at the end. It's really a well-structured song. 1939, Artie Shaw's When Winter Comes, written by the great Irving Berlin. Love the bluesy grit on the vocalist in this one. The call and response of the horns and vocals are super tight. And the clarinet solo. So many sweet little bends. It sounds like Artie Shaw is literally like just bursting with joy. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. 1942, Bing Crosby and the 10 Darby Singers with the John Scott Trotter Orchestra, White Christmas. This is literally the best-selling physical single in the history of recorded music, so not much needs to be said at this point, but I put it in the list today because it's Christmas and
May all your Christmases be brown.
1944, Judy Garland, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, written by Hugh Martin and Ralph Blaine for the MGM musical Meet Me in St. Louis. Next year all our troubles will be far away. Manifest positive things, darlings. 1946, Nat King Cole's Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, aka Merry Christmas to You, aka The Christmas Song, aka, I'm just kidding, there's no more. Written by Robert Wells and Mel Torme. It's a very cozy fireplace song. Nat King Cole is one of the best crooners, and you've got these multi-strings that are just, I cannot emphasize enough. I listened to the song one time and I literally think I'm pregnant. 1948, Frank Sinatra's It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, lyrics by Edmund Sears, music by Richard Storrs Willis. Such goosebumps on this one. Does it remind anyone else of Winnie the Pooh? Is that just me?
Deep in the 100-acre wood, where Christopher Robin plays, you'll find the enchanted neighborhood of Christopher's childhood days.
1949, Leroy Anderson and the Boston Pops Orchestra's Sleigh Ride. This might be one of the bounciest and most lively melodies that has ever been written. It's merry. That's it. When someone says, have a merry time, this is what they mean. Also, the trumpet sounds like a horse at the end.
1949. Here comes a controversial one. Georgie Stoll's MGM Studio Orchestra, Baby It's Cold Outside, featuring Esther Williams and Ricardo Montalban, written by Frank Loesser.
I don't blame people for finding Khan a little too pushy in this flirty, back and forth, push-pull dynamic that they're doing here. There are a few reasons why it doesn't bother me. For one, she wants to go home for, I'm just gonna park on this topic for a sec. She wants to go home for explicitly external reasons.
My mother will start to worry. My father will be pacing the floor. The neighbors might think something's up. I ought to say no. My sister will think I'm a filthy strum.
Girl, what about you? What do you want? Tell me what. It sounds to me like she has a super gossipy, finger waggy, really shamey family. So she thinks, oh, I mustn't. But when the chorus comes around, she's singing along with him. Oh, but it's cold outside. Perhaps just a cigarette more.
It's cold outside.
Like she says, screw all that fuss. I'm gonna do what I wanna do, which is keep hanging out with hot pants Ricardo over here. So I think it's a song that's a product of a sexist time, but I wouldn't put that on his character. It's just the 1940s in general. That's my interpretation anyway, but all of the other ones are wrong. 1949, Gene Autry's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, written by Johnny Marks and Robert L. May. Yeah, I'm putting this here. I think it's cute. I love an underdog story. I love his 1950 version of Frosty the Snowman in here too. It's nice.
1950, The Andrews Sisters Sleigh Ride.
I try not to have repeats on this list, but damn it, this version's so good that I couldn't leave it out. This melody is so perfect for this post-war vocal pop trio style of harmony, and they deliver it with this big adorable smile that you can hear in the actual singing. It's up there with some of my all-time faves. This is my number 2. This is my number 2 after Vera Lynn. How about that? This is a ranking now, I decided. 1950, Frank Sinatra and the B. Swanson Quartet, Let It Snow, written by Jules Stein with lyrics by Sami Khan. I could not find out who made the arrangements for the song, which is unfortunate because it is masterful. Every instrument has its place. The supporting layers are constantly just like evolving and changing. The backup singers sit perfectly in the mix. Frankie nails it as usual, and it all just collides at the end. It is a flawless execution of an already great song. I love it. Also, around a minute 30, he goes, "Well, the weather outside is fretful, but the fire is delightful." I just like that a lot. He goes, delightful. I just like that a lot. He goes, delightful. 1950, the Andrews Sisters are back, baby! They're back, baby! But this time it's a duet with Bing Crosby. Mele Kalikimaka, written by Robert Alexander Anderson. And yes, it's the antithesis of White Christmas in a way. It's pretty much the exact opposite song in its essence. But hey, it's got beach vibes, it's got surfer guitars, it's a cute little bop.
1951, Bing Crosby's It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas, written by Meredith Willson. Oh, they finally let a woman write a song. That's pretty Oh.
This has got to be one of the most disproportionately dramatic intros that I've ever heard. Even though it's only 10 seconds long. I think I love it. I love it.
1953, Eartha Kitt with the Henry Renee Orchestra, Santa Baby, written by Philip Springer and Joan Javits. Is that a woman? It's a woman! It's a woman! We found one, everybody.
This is a bit embarrassing to admit, but I used to think the song was just about a lady who's got a thing for Santa. It did not click with me that this is mom flirting with dad while he's dressed up as Santa for the kids. Once you grasp that, it becomes a really wholesome, cute little, it's a flirty little tune. It's nice. It's a flirty little song. It's cute. 1953, Louis Armstrong and the Commanders, Is That You, Santa Claus? Written by Jack Fox. I could not find a photo of Jack Fox. The amount of just attitude and personality that Louis Armstrong brings is so infectious and fun. I wish that cold wind sound effect was just put it in the intro and outro. It gets a bit much in the middle, but hey. 1955, Louis Armstrong and the All-Stars, Christmas Night in Harlem. Love that cheeky, romantic little chromatic riff, that underscores the melody in the background of the verses. It's such a little festive touch. It's such a cute little festive touch. I love that. The final minute of the song, after all the solos are over, is filled with so much Louis Armstrong sass that I was actually laughing out loud revisiting this. His scatting is such a caricature that you can't do a funny impression of it because Louis is a funny impression of himself, and God bless him for that. Alright, we're in the 60s now. Ella Fitzgerald's Sleigh Bells. That's right, it's in the list 3 times! 3. That's how good it is. Go away, it's my list. 1962, Bing Crosby's Winter Wonderland. Alright, I've decided to abandon my no repeating songs rule. They sound different enough that they're both worth listening to, in my opinion. This is a much more recent recording than the first one, and it's so lush and just well balanced. Just really ornate strings, woodwinds, backup singers. It's so good. Like throw on a nice, like good quality pair of headphones and listen to this. It sounds so good. 1965, Vince Guaraldi's Christmas Time Is Here, written by Vince with Lee Mendelson. I've not put a lot of instrumentals here because that's not really what I was focused on, but I had to throw in one from the Peanuts special because the voicings, the noodlings. There's a reason this album from a random TV special in the 60s that nobody, as far as I know, watches, has lived on for so long. 1966, Thurl Ravenscroft. Alright. You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch, written by Albert Haig, with lyrics obviously by Dr. Seuss. If you can't admit to yourself that this is an absolute holiday banger, you're the Grinch. You're the Grinch. And the 3 words that best describe you are as follows.
Stink, stank, stunk.
1967, we're almost done, people. Ella Fitzgerald's It Came Upon a Midnight Clear. This one really gets me misty-eyed. The gentle, plucked, upright, and like together with the acoustic guitar, almost sound like a harp. It's very angelic and just sweet on the ears. And then Ella starts cooking. It's so beautiful. The only thing I don't like is the random key change in the middle. I have no idea why that's there. It really doesn't add anything, but hey, still a great song. 2006, Sarah McLachlan and Diana Krall's cover of Christmas Time Is Here. I'm jumping 40 years ahead here because I genuinely have not heard a Christmas song in that span of time that I love.
Christmas time is here.
Send me a song and I'll change the list, but that's where we're at. Anyway, yeah, this is beautiful. And finally, 2022, Remy Wolf's Bossa Nova cover of Wham's Last Christmas. I'm sorry, George, I love you, but this is a Remy song now. It's perfect, I love it. I'm sorry, I just got it.
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, but the very next day, you gave it away. This year, to save you from tears,
Anyway, I hope this helps you hate Christmas music slightly less. But having said that, hats off to the mall workers that have to be subjected to, you know, a 6-song loop of Jimmy Fallon's Christmas covers for an entire 8-hour shift. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Anyway, the link to the YouTube playlist is down here somewhere, so, you know, click on that in 11 months when this video becomes relevant again. Bye!